Picture this. It is Sunday morning, you finally sit down with your coffee, and you sink into the couch for 2 quiet minutes before the day starts. And then you notice it. Little light brown strands all over your dark pants. You reach for the lint roller before you even take your first sip. You run it over the cushion once, twice, 5 times, and it barely makes a difference. You look over at your dog sleeping in the sun, completely unaware, while you are the one left cleaning up after them. Again, I know exactly how that feels. I know what it is like to vacuum twice a day and still find fur stuck to your socks by dinner time. I know the quiet embarrassment when someone comes over and you catch them picking hair off their sleeve before they even sit down. And underneath all of that cleaning, there is a small worry that never quite goes away. A little voice that asks, is this normal? Or is something actually wrong with my dog? Most people try to fix this the expensive way. They buy the $30 de-shedding shampoo at the pet store. They book extra grooming appointments every few weeks. Some even take their dog in for allergy testing, spend a small fortune, and walk out with a bag of pills that barely make a dent. And a few months later, the couch looks exactly the same as it did before any of that money was spent. But what if I told you that none of that gets anywhere near the real problem? What if the difference between a dog who sheds like it is snowing in your living room every single day and a dog whose coat barely leaves a trace on the couch comes down to one small thing missing from the bowl you fill every single morning? If you saw the picture on this video, the couch buried in fur, and then the couch completely clean, that is not a trick. That is a real result, and today I am going to walk you through exactly how we get there, starting from the inside. Hi everyone, I am Dr. Sidney, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back. In my clinic, excessive shedding is one of those things owners almost never bring up on its own. It usually comes out halfway through an appointment for something else, when someone quietly says, "By the way, is it normal that I find this much hair everywhere?" And the truth is, sometimes it is normal. But very often, it is your dog quietly telling you that something underneath that coat is out of balance. So today we are doing a full class on this, from the root cause all the way to the simple habits that fix it. Grab a notebook if you like taking notes, because I am going to give you everything in order, starting with what is actually happening under the fur. Let us start with the first piece, and this is the one almost nobody explains properly. Your dog's skin is not just a covering. It is a living organ that is constantly rebuilding itself. Roughly every 3 weeks, your dog grows an entirely new outer layer of skin, and along with it, a new cycle of hair follicles. That is a huge opportunity your dog's body gets every single month to build a strong, healthy, shiny coat. But here is the problem. Skin cells and hair follicles are built almost entirely out of fat, specifically essential fatty acids. And most dry kibble, even the expensive bags, loses a large amount of its healthy fat the moment that bag is opened. Those fats break down when they touch air, a process called oxidation. And once that happens, they are essentially useless to your dog's body. So every day, your dog is eating food that looks the same, smells the same, but is quietly missing the raw material their skin needs to build strong hair. Instead of a smooth, thick coat that holds on tight, you get hair that is dry, brittle, and falls out far earlier than it is supposed to. That is not bad luck. That is a body doing the best it can with the wrong materials. Now here is where we fix it, and this is the piece that makes the biggest difference of all. You need to add a fresh source of omega-3 fatty acids to your dog's bowl. My favorite is 100% pure salmon oil, kept in the refrigerator in a pump bottle so it stays fresh instead of sitting in a cabinet going rancid. 2 pumps over their food once a day is often all it takes. I had an owner come into my clinic last year, worried sick about her Labrador Bailey. She swore something was seriously wrong because every morning there was a small pile of fur by his bed, and the couch looked like it needed to be reupholstered. We ran through everything together, And what we found was simple. The bag of kibble had been sitting open in the pantry for weeks. The fats inside had already gone bad long before the bag was even half empty. We added fresh salmon oil to Bailey's bowl. Nothing else changed. And within about 3 weeks, that same owner sent me a picture of her clean couch with 3 exclamation points. Same dog, same food, one missing ingredient replaced. If fish is not an option for your dog, there is an easy kitchen alternative. Ground flaxseed is packed with a plant-based omega-3, and a small spoonful sprinkled over their dinner works beautifully. You can also use a raw or lightly cooked egg yolk 2 or 3 times a week. Egg yolk is rich in biotin and healthy fat, both of which go straight toward building stronger hair follicles. These are not expensive items. They are things sitting in most kitchens right now. There is a second piece that people almost always skip, and it matters more than you would think. Hydration. Just like we talked about with the skin barrier, those cells cannot hold on to healthy fat if they are dehydrated from the inside. If your dog eats completely dry kibble every single day, their skin is working at a disadvantage before it even gets a chance to use those good fats you are adding. A simple fix is pouring a small amount of warm water or a splash of plain unsalted bone broth over their food and letting it sit for a few minutes before serving. It sounds too simple to matter, but dry skin cannot become healthy skin without water, no matter how much oil you add on top. The last physical piece is one you already know how to do, you just may not be doing it often enough. Brushing. A few minutes of brushing most days does 2 things. It physically removes the loose hair before it ends up on your couch or your black sweater, and it helps spread your dog's natural skin oils down the length of each hair, which makes the whole coat stronger and shinier over time. This is not about a fancy grooming tool. A basic brush used consistently does more than an expensive one used once a month. Now, I do need to give you an important warning here, because I would not be doing my job as a veterinarian if I did not. Some shedding is completely normal. Dogs go through seasonal coat changes, especially in spring and fall, and that is simply biology doing what it is supposed to do. But if you notice bald patches, red or irritated skin underneath the fur, one specific area that looks thinner than the rest, or your dog constantly licking and chewing at their own skin, that is not something to fix with oil and a brush alone. That can point to allergies, parasites, or in some cases a thyroid issue, and it needs an actual exam. Please do not try to diagnose that yourself at home. A quick visit can rule out the serious causes, so you know exactly what you are dealing with. Once you know the shedding is simply diet-related, here is the golden rule before you go dump everything into tonight's bowl. Do not add all of this at once. Pick one fat source, either the salmon oil, the flaxseed, or the egg yolk, and start there. Add it slowly over about a week. Too much oil introduced all at once can upset a sensitive stomach, and the last thing you want is to trade a fur-covered couch for a much messier problem on your carpet. Once your dog is used to it, you can add the hydration piece and build the brushing habit alongside it. Small steps, held consistently, beat throwing everything in at once every single time. Think about what we actually built today. We started with a dog whose body was quietly missing the raw materials it needed to grow strong hair, cycle after cycle, month after month. Now that same body has fresh fat to build with, enough water to actually use it, and a coat that gets a little help finding its way instead of ending up on your furniture. Give that new cycle its full 3 weeks. Skin does not change overnight, but it does change, and most owners tell me the difference is impossible to miss by the time that cycle completes. Being a pet parent means noticing the small things nobody else notices. The extra fur, the extra worry, the quiet questions you do not always say out loud. The fact that you are here, learning the real reason behind it, instead of just buying another bottle off a shelf. Tells me everything about the kind of care your dog is getting. If this helped you understand what is really going on under that coat, leave me a comment and tell me which one you are trying first. The salmon oil, the flaxseed, or the egg yolk. I read every single one. And tonight, give your dog a gentle scratch behind the ears for Dr. Sidney.